from the UK. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello. Hello. Oh. There is so much to share. We'll just wait another 30 seconds for some more people to come, and then I'm just going to start talking because that's normally what I do. So here in the United States, it is Thanksgiving week, and I like to try and remind people that it's really Thanksgiving is a day. Hey, Claudette, welcome back, sweetheart. That Thanksgiving is a day, it's not a week. It might be Thanksgiving week as far as like, you know, your work schedule, but that it is, you don't have to get sucked into all the stuff for the entire week. And I think that that's important. We talk a lot about boundaries, and I think that keeping those boundaries and knowing where you are, knowing what's important to you, what are your priorities this week is really, really important. They've been talking to me a lot about boundaries and priorities because it's so easy when we come into these, whether it's Thanksgiving or another, you know, big time of the year, like of big, some kind of a big event, especially if it's a, you know, big family event, something like that, could be wedding, funeral, you know, Christmas, whatever. It's so important that we are keeping our priorities and that we are keeping our boundaries. We're going to spend a lot of time with a lot of people over the next, if it's not this week with Thanksgiving, if you're in another country. I know a lot of you come in from to come and spend time with us from other countries. Ooh, let me turn my little headsets off so that Instagram can hear us better. Oh, already did. So if you are, okay. So if you are spending time with a lot of people coming up this weekend with holiday, you know, family and stuff. So first of all, you know, take some deep breaths before you go, well, for good or bad. I mean, look, I love my family and we are going to have a very full house for Thanksgiving. But it is really important that we still take some breaths. We spend some time to ground. We can get outside and put our feet in the grass, in the sand, on the earth, somehow, somewhere, to at least give yourself a little bit of grounding before you immerse yourself in family. I want to remind you of getting involved with, or I want to say we want to remind you about getting involved in situations that are not yours. Okay, so it's super easy, especially if somebody starts talking politics or there's things that are going on. There's plenty of things going on in the world that people have a variety of opinions about, that it is okay for us to take a breath and say, that's very interesting, and then walk away. You do not have to get embroiled into someone else's opinion, conversation, drama. They are entitled to their opinion. They might be wrong. They might not be. They might just see things in a different way. We get very stuck in our perspectives where we see things the way we see things. Hello, 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 happy Monday. And we don't realize that there could be another perspective. And so if somebody says something that you feel like, what an idiot. And, you know, look, I feel like that a lot. And on my personal page, I can say that. But on my Facebook page, like on my family, with my family, if somebody is like that, or, you know, when I'm in an actual conversation with somebody, whether it's a friend or a client or, you know, in the various groups that I'm involved in, can't say that. But to be able to say, that's really interesting. I was at an event on Saturday, and a gentleman that I know was offering up some wisdom from a well-known podcast, and was very clear from his, you know, story that he was somebody who listened to this podcast regularly. This is a podcast that I would not be caught dead listening to just because of my beliefs, but as he spoke, he actually was sharing something that was interesting. And to be able to say, and not being facetious, to say, that's very interesting. So when we come to family groups, we come into this time of the year where there's holiday, whatever your holidays are, there's lots of them coming, to just remember to do your prep work. okay? And that's not just clean the house and make the whatever you're making. Your personal prep work is, who are my safe people? Who are my maybe less safe people that I want to be polite to and I want to greet, but maybe I'm not going to sit next to them. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time with them. I want to just be warm and polite, and then I'm going to go there, okay? So who are the safe people? Who are the less safe people? What topics of conversation do you want to avoid? Know those things in advance. So if somebody starts talking about something you don't want to talk about it, be like, huh, that's really interesting. I got to go over there. Okay, so you have an escape route for yourself. You have these things in place, making sure that if you are somebody who has crystals or you utilize crystals, that you have things with you that you can put, crystals in your pockets. You can put things. I have crystals in my bra. I have, usually things on my wrists. Whatever it is that's going to help you be, I don't want to say armed, because we're not trying to be barricaded away from friends and family, but to make you feel comfortable, the things that will help you feel safe, okay? And then to take some time to stand on the earth before you go somewhere, if it's not freezing where you are and you can safely put your feet on the ground, to stand on the earth and just breathe. Just breathe in and breathe out. And maybe I'm late to the party. Probably am, but I was had to get a new Pixel watch, and so my other one broke, so Google was kind enough to send me another one. And so I was trying to set up my fitness part for my watch for my run this morning, and it kept insisting that I breathe. My Google Watch kept insisting that I breathe. I'm like, I don't want to breathe, I want to run. And so I was like, fine, what's going on? So I stopped for a second. I'm like, I didn't even know, because it came into me after, because I could hear them. They're like, hello, you're getting this for a reason. And so I didn't even know that Google Fit had a Breathe app. And I know there's different breath work things and Calm and different apps that you can pay for. But this was very interesting to me. So remember to breathe, right? And take some time to prepare yourself before you dump yourself into a whole pile of family people. And even if you are already there and you are, if you are, there and you find you need a break, step outside. It is okay for you to put your self-care and your boundaries and, to take those breaks where you need to for your own mental health. Because it's not just Thanksgiving this week, but we have a lot of holidays coming up. And it's a roller coaster as we get through. Like, okay, we just had Halloween in the United States. We're going to have Thanksgiving in the United States. And then we're going to get into Christmas and New Year's. And in my family, there's 4 birthdays, all bam, 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 bam. And then we get right after Christmas and New Year's, we have Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day and Mother's Day and wedding season and graduation season and all the things. So the first 3 months of the year, at least in the United States, can be a lot. It can be a lot of family. It can be a lot of social pressure. And so if you can start the holiday season with things that are going to keep you grounded and protected, then you'll get through it a bit easier and not feel so exhausted by the time you get around to Valentine's Day. Okay, I want to talk about that. I want to say 2 other things, because we are going to be a little short tonight, because today is Transgender Day of Remembrance, and this is an event that I've participated in for the last 15 years, so I will be leaving to go to that event. So we probably won't do individual card readings today, and for that I do apologize. It just happens that it landed on a Monday this year. The other thing that I wanted to tell you is I'm very excited that I have been invited to join an app called Uptime, UPTIME, and I'll put that in the comments. Check me out on Uptime. I only have one. They're called hacks. I only have one up there right now, but I'm super excited to be invited to be part of their app and to be a content creator for them, and there definitely will be more to come. So it's a free app you can download, and it's very interesting. It's kind of these little bites where you can read a book or get lessons in little bites, and that seems to be a very new thing. My husband was talking to me about things, about chapter things, where he was listening to a book and it was like all little synopsises of the chapter, so you read the book but it was like 20 minutes. So it seems to be micro learning, seems to be really a new hot thing, and so I was really excited that I was invited to participate. So you can check me out on Uptime. And then the other thing that we were talking about last week that was really coming in again really super strong was about taking stock of where you are now, taking stock of where you'd like to be, taking stock of the things that you're grateful for, taking stock of the year, looking at how far you've come, looking at where you would like to go as we come into this close of the 2023 year, looking at 2024. What are your personal goals? What are you, how do you want to be in the world? And so for me, I want to share, because I always try to be super transparent with you, that 23 has been a really, really difficult year. And if you look at what's going on in the world right now, and especially in Israel, it's a really difficult time, and there's so much anger and violence and racism and homophobia and book banning and evil making, evil mongering. I don't want to say this, that if you don't agree with me, you're evil. If you don't see what stay on my side, you're the enemy. And this division and this violence and the anger that we're seeing is hard, especially for we who are the light workers and we who are the more sensitives. It's hard. But the thing that continues to give me hope is we have been in this time of the throat chakra, this time of people screaming. We've been in this time since into 2020 with things coming to a head. And we're seeing this again and again and again, things coming to a head. We saw this with Black Lives Matter. We're seeing this now with Israel and Gaza. We're seeing this with the women's rights. We're seeing this with voting rights, abortion rights, things in other countries. We're seeing the anti-LGBT. We saw the pendulum in this country and in a lot of places swing very far back to the left when Obama was in the White House. And we knew after that it would have been a nice hope to think things would continue, but we knew that there would be a backlash of swinging to the right, because this is a pendulum, right? We as a humanity are a pendulum. But I come back to these things, and I never remember what they're called, but with the balls, and you drop the ball, and it goes, right? And then they get back into unison eventually. So there's another one, and if somebody knows what I'm talking about, feel free to put it in the comments. But there's another one where they take the ball, and they just take one of the row of 6 or 7, and they take one, and they just let the one swing, and it goes, and then it starts to take, you see the other ones, and they're going like this, going back and forth, and then they start to get into a wave, and then they start to come back into unison, and it takes a couple minutes, and eventually they come back into unison, the row of the floating balls, and I will find this and I will post it, and then they come back to a place of rest. So for a minute there is an event and there is a chaos, and then it gets back into some sort of cohesion, and then there's unity. And we've seen this pattern in humanity. While it's not in alignment with our track through humanity's evolution through the chakras, we have seen this, that every 20 years or so, there is some massive upheaval of humanity's evolution. And we see this with, as humanity, oh, Dorothy, you're a spammer and you're going to be banned. See ya, bye. We don't have any spammers here, so bye. So we've seen this. If you're a spammer, just go, because I'm just going to ban you. I mean, it's just really simple. We've seen this over humanity's continued evolution, that every 20 years or so, while we are continuing to evolve through the chakras, every 20 years or so, there's some kind of global something that grabs everyone's attention. We put all our energy and our focus on a war. It's usually something violence oriented, right? We had 9/11 20 years ago. 20 years before that was in the 80s. We had, there was a missile crisis, the Cold War, not the Cold War, but in the 80s there was a conflict with Russia. Things that capture the world's attention for a period of time. And so we saw this with the war in Ukraine, with Russia, and now in Israel. Things that are capturing the world's attention. And what happens is it shakes up this part of the snow globe that says, chaos, 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 we're going to make this chaos. And then the things settle out. Because while there's chaos, more and more people have the opportunity to say, you know, I don't want to live in chaos. I don't want leaders who seek chaos. I don't want a partner or to revisit chaos with family members. I want to court peace. I want to live in a place of love. I want to create love. I want to create connections and bonds, and even with boundaries, but to be able to create those connections rather than those barriers, okay? And so every time we see more and more of this violence that springs up, at the same time we see more and more people that say, no, 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 no. This is not the direction we're supposed to go in. And so you've heard me say it so many times, while those who are trying to lead with power, hunger, and manipulation and violence, they are the minority. It doesn't always feel like that because they're very loud. That world, that motivation, that it's like driving a Mack truck, like a big 18-wheeler truck or a lorry, versus the very quiet Amish wagons or electric vehicles, things like that. So let's not get distracted by the noise, because we talk about how things are loud, and just over the last 5 weeks it has gotten louder, and it's going to be louder as we continue to go forward. And so the question for us is, in this very loud world that we are living in right now, and I say this right now because we all understand that this is temporary. Now, will it shift in our lifetimes? God, I hope so. Soon, quick, hurry. Peace on earth. But it might not. But it is shifting. And all of these things are coming to pass because those who are seeking power for the sake of power can feel the shifting underneath, and can feel the rising of the light, can feel the fifth dimension coming, can feel the DNA changing, and it's very unsettling. And so people are choosing more and more to walk away from these things, but this minority, it feels very loud. And so our job is, how do we protect ourselves? How do we create boundaries for ourselves where we don't get stuck into a loop of people spewing things we may not agree with, or hate, or violence, or division, where we can say, that's interesting, and just walk away. So these are things that you can do to protect yourself. It's not necessary for you to try to convince someone else that they may be misinformed, or that you disagree with them. Whether they're informed, sometimes we're misinformed. It's up to you if you want to choose to engage. And sometimes, you might want to, and other times you may not. Choices, boundaries, but lead with love. Lead with love. It's so easy in this loud times that we're living in to feel like someone who doesn't agree with us, because we're made to feel like this. If you don't agree with me, you must be the enemy. You must be, I can't talk to you. Lead with love. Lead with love, lead with compassion. Understand that anybody from any position, regardless of where on any kind of a ruler or spectrum that you might be, is coming to a position because it's important to them, whether they have all the facts or they don't, whether we have all the facts or we don't. The positions that we take on anything is because something about that is important to us. And so when we can come from that place of respect and compassion to say, this must be important to you, or you wouldn't be taking such a strong opinion. What is it about this that's important to you. And again, you can just choose when you've had enough to say, oh, okay, I hear where you're coming from. Thank you for explaining it. And then walk away. You don't have to choose. It's up to you whether you choose to engage or you choose not to engage. And how much. If you take that first step, do you want to take another step? Can you have a respectful conversation? And it's okay to say, we both feel passionately about this, and maybe this is as far as we can go today. And yay for us for having an interesting conversation that's engaging, where we're not screaming at each other and we're not letting anybody else scream at each other, and we're just, sharing information. But this may be as far as we can go today, but thank you for taking the time to talk with me and to share what's important to you. I really appreciate learning your view. There are a lot of ways we can choose to engage without being closed, without being angry, without getting our dander up. And if something is important to you, it's easy to get our dander up, because not everybody is going to take this path. Other people are going to choose a different path where, we maybe feel, be called the ones who are stupid or uninformed or delusional or what have you. And so then it becomes this choice to say, okay, we don't need to resort to any of that. But if you'd like to have a conversation, I'd love to sit down with you and know more about your views, if you choose to do that. And if not, then again, we come back to, interesting. Because now I know something about that person. And I know which group to put them in. Are you the safe person at family, holiday gatherings, whatever, that I can go and sit next to and we can just have a wonderful conversation where I don't have to worry about protecting my energy? Or I'm going to have to say, oh, interesting. Maybe let's talk about the weather. Okay. But when you can run through these scenarios in your head ahead of time, you are much more equipped to handle these things when you're suddenly in a holiday party. Hi, sweetheart. In a holiday party, or in a situation where you're going to be seeing people that maybe you weren't expecting to see, or maybe you didn't want to see, but this is a holiday time. And so do a little prep work for your own holiday sanity. Okay? Don't be afraid to say, I need to step away for a few minutes. I'm going to go take a walk. I'm going to take a breath. I just need to get some fresh air. I want to put my feet in the ground. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You have your safe people that are hopefully going to be at the gatherings with you to say, hey, why don't you come with me? We could be each other's safe person. Maybe we could go take a walk together. So there's going to be lots of reasons to gather over the next couple of weeks. And I want to give you some tools to help hopefully keep you a little saner, keep you more grounded, and keep your blood pressure in the right places, in the healthy places. Because we know that when we have to put our guard up, and it could just be so exhausting, and then we have some negative energy on us, and we've just got to, and it can just be exhausting. And so if we can do a little bit of prep work as we go forward into the time of the holidays, we are stronger, we are better equipped to handle things, and we are better equipped to hold on to our positive energy. All right, let's do a couple of cards for the week. All right, as I said, for those of you who came in a little bit later, with my apologies, we will not do individual card readings this week. Today is Transgender Day of Remembrance, and it is something that's very important and near and dear to my heart, and it's an event I participated in for the last decade and a half. So it happened that it landed on today, that it happened to be a Monday. So we'll do some cards for the community, and then I will be will be a little bit short tonight. So I apologize for that. And if you are, and I'll say this again, but if you are celebrating Thanksgiving here in the United States, or if you're celebrating Thanksgiving somewhere else, just know I'm so very, very grateful for you. And so we started to talk before about how, how was 23 for you? We talked about this in January or this time last year, that 2023 was going to be the year about me, right? The year about you. So we could put a little self-centered energy of what did we want to create this year. And I don't know about you, but this has been a really difficult year. I mean, there's all this war and violence going on. My husband had a heart attack. And at the same time, so many blessings came from this as well. And so it's so easy. Oh, thank you, Gina. I am so grateful for you too. It's so easy for us to get mired in, well, this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened. It's so easy to list the challenges, but let's work a little harder to list the blessings too, the things that we are grateful for. I'm grateful my son graduated college this year. I'm grateful he's back home hanging out and, trying to figure out where he wants to go. It's nice to have him around. He's good company. I'm grateful my other son moved closer, so he's around too, which is great because he's good company. I'm grateful that my older son, when he was, having kind of a conundrum, he felt safe to reach out to me and get my take on the situation. This is the kind of relationship I always wanted with my kids when they got to be adults. Not so much when they were younger and I thought I might kill them, parents of teenagers, but they lived. We all lived, and I'm grateful for that. So take some time as we go forward to don't take the easy way, which is listing all the challenges. We can all do that. Take the stronger road. Take the road that's more affirming, that strengthens you, of what is it that happened this year that you can be grateful for. And remembering that sometimes those challenging things are the things to be grateful for also. I'm not grateful that my husband had a heart. I am grateful that he had a heart attack. I could have lived without it, right? But I'm grateful that it happened in a safe place, someplace that he was in, where he could get emergency services right away, where we could be there with him right away. I'm grateful for the care that he received. I'm grateful that he's okay. I'm grateful that it shows us now some other things that we needed to take care of. I'm grateful that it forced us to get, lots of things taken care of that we've been putting off. So, even the challenges are things that can provide us with growth, opportunities, and blessings. And I have said this forever, even in the pile of horse poop, there could be a blessing. There could be that pony that's in there. There are blessings in the challenges. There are blessings in the crises if we are willing to and capable of looking. Now, I want to say that, and I say that a lot because I really do believe it, but I also know that in this time of violence that we're living in right now, I can't find blessings in some of the violence that we're seeing and some of the loss that we're seeing. And so how do I reconcile that? Because I've been giving that a lot of thought too. And the thing that I come back to is that I am a human. I am a soul having a human experience, and my human doesn't know everything. My soul doesn't know everything. That's why we come to be human, so we can learn and have experiences so that our soul can learn. And so while I truly believe that somewhere there is some kind of blessing in all the things that happen to us, let me say this better. There's meaning. Let me say it this way. There's meaning because, I don't know that there's blessing in some of the tragedies that we've seen. So let me use this different word because it's not sitting right with me. Meaning is the word that they're giving to me, is meaning. There's meaning in everything. It might not be a positive meaning. It might not be a, easy meaning, but there's meaning in everything. And there's something for us to learn in everything. Even in the most horrific of situations, there is some sort of meaning in it. Now, is there meaning in it right now when we're dealing with the drama and the pain and the grief and the anguish and the rawness? No. No. And we give ourselves that grace. We give our loved ones and our friends and our family, we give that grace. Can there be meaning? Can we see that in the moment of raw anguish? No. Meaning comes with time, when anguish lessens. So, for all the things that we have been through, and I know we're going to talk about a lot of things between now and the end of the year, but for all the things, the challenge is, as you list, because this is your homework, to make a list of the things that were blessings, that were accomplishments, that were positives for you in 2023. Don't shy away from looking at the challenges. Don't, list the challenges instead. But don't shy away from looking at the challenges, because this is the time when we can look behind. In retrospect, we can say, where was the meaning? And if you come to a place where you're like, I'm not ready for meaning on that. If you've been following me for a while, you'll know that as we come into January, we're going to come closer to the second anniversary of the passing of my son's best friend's sister. That beautiful 19-year-old girl who ended her life I'm not even 2 years on. I'm not ready. I'm still not ready to dive into that. I know my son is not ready. I know his family, her family is still not really, you know. And so we give ourselves grace because there's not a timeline for grief. There's not a right or a wrong. People are functioning, people are up and living their lives, but when we sit to really think in that, to say, well, was there wisdom? Is there some meaning? Is there something? We may not be ready. And that is okay. That is 100% okay. I don't know if I will ever personally be ready to find meaning in her death, but I do try. I mean, I think there's a little, but I'm not, you know. So give yourself grace. Where did I wander off to there in my own little head? Giving ourselves grace. And so that comes back to, this is Thanksgiving week. Remembering that Thanksgiving is a day. It is not the entire week. We don't have to like sit in our dread or, you know, excitement or, you know, whatever for the entire week. Allow yourself the space that you need as you come into these holidays, okay? But do take some time as we come towards the end of the year to make a list of the things that were blessings to you, and even the things that were challenges to you. What blessings, what meaning can be derived from those things? Okay, so card, I've been literally holding it in my hand for all this time. This is Live Your Bliss. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's very glary with the light. See, Instagram can see it. It's probably backwards. See. Well, trust me. There it is. Live your bliss. Live your bliss. And so this is filled with gold and green and colors, which is the solar plexus and the heart chakra, that reminds us to stay in touch with our truest self and reminds us to stay in touch with our heart energy, which is a lot of what we've been talking about. Okay? So keep yourself grounded. Keep yourself in touch with yourself. Keep yourself in touch with your heart energy, leading with love. Right? Okay. And so then the next card is Inspire. You see it? It says Inspire Others. There it is. Inspire Others. Inspire others. And so this is a lot of again, leading with love, because when we lead with love, we do inspire others. We inspire others to be better. We lead by that example of not allowing our energy to come low, to, you know, drop our energy to connect with somebody else down here. We want to keep our energy up here, and we want to help lift them up. So inspiring others by kindness, compassion, space, non-confrontation, which is not always the easiest, but again, oh, that's really interesting. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. And you can say, I'll be right back. You don't need to have it like, I'm going to go do da-da-da. I'll be right back. You don't have to go back. It's okay. All right. Third one is appreciate your talents. Appreciate your talents. There it is. Okay, I got the light on. Appreciate your talents. This reminds us that we're strong, we're capable, we can get through Thanksgiving, we can get through this time of turmoil in our world, that we can get through it, and that there is more that's going on in all the things that we see in the news and the, you know, the whatever. There's more that's going on. And we will come back to this place, right, with the ball, and you get into the chaos, and they're all going in different directions, and we will come back to this place of unity. We will come back to this place of harmony. It's going to take a while, but I do believe that we can get there. At least continue to work towards it. Chris, I know you know what I'm talking about, right? The thing with the balls where you, like, drop and it goes like this. But there's another one where they like do they pull one of the balls and then it gets like, oh. Claudette says, sometimes it's a lot to understand and find the meaning of personal emotional challenges that we went through. Can see some grace in some, but not in a lot. Yeah, I forgot what it was called too, but I'll find it and I'll post a link. So Claudette says it's sometimes a lot to understand and find meaning in the personal and emotional challenges that we went through. We can see grace in it sometimes, but not a lot, and that's okay. And that's okay. Look for grace in ourselves, offer ourselves grace, offer grace to others. When we look for the meaning, we look for how can we, thank you, Newton's Cradle. I challenge you to Google it and watch. And I'll post a link. Or unless, Chris, you want to post a link. Give ourselves grace. Give others grace. take space if you need. Set your boundaries as you come into this time of family gatherings that are going on. And we're looking for meaning, right? But it's okay if we don't quite find it yet, okay? Especially when we're dealing with loved ones, especially if it's the first holiday season without someone, or if there's been loss recently, something like that. Let's have compassion for each other. Let's have compassion for ourselves. Let's lead with love. And remember, we keep our vibrations high, right? So we inspire others. We keep our own vibrations high. Inspire others. There it is. Inspire others. We keep our own vibrations high. So we protect ourselves. Whether that's through crystals, through sitting, getting your feet into the, thank you, Chris, I appreciate you, of getting your feet into the ground. Make sure you stay hydrated. Try not to drink alcohol if that's something that could put you in a place to be triggered. Or some people, they need to drink alcohol so they can get through the family times. Whatever it is that you need to do to take care of you during this next holiday week and as we go into the holiday season, all I'm saying is take some time to plan ahead. Wear an outfit that's going to make you feel good. Don't wear something that's uncomfortable, because then you're already going to have your energy in a snit. Take some time to plan ahead, and you will really make a difference in how you move through the holidays. So, I'm sorry that we can't do individual card readings today, but I do want to pull one more card, and then we'll go off to do some stuff for some other people. And this one says, focus on the positive. Focus on the positive. And these are, where are you? Where are you? There you are. Focus on the positive. And then these are James Van Prague's. I know we all love JVP. These are James Van Prague's messages from the guides. And I just wanted to share some thoughts and some wisdom and some compassion, some grace as we're coming into this time that can be really stressful for a lot of people. And then into this time where we're closing the year, it's really important that we're taking inventory for ourselves of how the year went, so that we can make some plans of what we would like to have and experience and where we would like to be as we come to the launch of the next year. Understanding we are in the first quarter of the moon, so it's not too late to set some intentions, to set some manifestation desires and some good wishes, to be able to say, this is how I want to envision Thanksgiving, or this is how I want to envision the week going, to be able to set those positive intentions. And just, it is the time where we talk a lot about gratitude, and so for my part, I am endlessly grateful for all of you for choosing to spend some time here, and for allowing me to share some things with you each week. I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving if you will be celebrating, and I look forward to talking with you all more fully next Monday. It is Transgender Day of Remembrance, so if there's somebody that you know that might be impacted by that, make sure a little extra kindness to reach out and say, hey, I'm thinking of you, goes a real long way. You all have a wonderful, blessed week. Happy Thanksgiving, and always know how very much you are loved. Mwah.